Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of BTTH Rebirth of Emperor Yang episode number 252 based on novel. So let's start. At a height of 10,000 feet, the thick white clouds are like snow-capped peaks floating in the sky. The sunlight makes the vast space on this cloud look particularly spectacular and beautiful. At this time, the flying beast blood flame bird taken by Xiao Yan and others was flying forward at a slow speed until the violent energy explosion in front was heard, and the speed of the pedestrian gradually slowed down. Originally, Xiao Yan planned to simply bypass here. Instead of meeting and giving way, he might as well disappear altogether. However, this was stopped by Luo Jin on one side. Although there was no clear reason, he wanted the blood flame bird to fly straight towards the war zone ahead. This abnormal point also surprised Xiao Yang. On weekdays, Luo Jin is a bit more cautious than him. How can he become so aggressive today? Knowing that there is a big war ahead, he still chooses not to dodge. This is a strange thing. After a short moment, the vision in front of Xiao Yang and his party finally became empty. There is no cloud in the boundless sky, and the thick clouds have long disappeared under the impact of energy. At this moment, in the sight of Xiao Yang and others, there are 4 human figures flying rapidly in the sky. The collision from time to time makes the world shake, and an amazing wave of energy swept across the sky. When the huge wind and waves came in front of Xiao Yang and others, they were broken at will by the low roar of the blood flame bird. Among the 4, 3 figures were dressed in grey robes, and the remaining one could see at a glance that it was a woman dressed in a blue dress. To Xiao Yang's surprise, this woman was the woman he had seen in the canyon a few days ago. It's her. A little surprised in his mouth, then Xiao Yang's eyes involuntarily fell on Luo Jin, and he was suspicious in his heart. Smelly girl, I advise you not to struggle anymore. If you want to leave safely, leave your Naji and the flying beast. Otherwise, don't blame us for being cruel. In the sky, 3 middle-aged people in grey robes continued to flash, and the source gas in their bodies flowed rapidly. Their fierce fighting skills were constantly displayed, and they smashed the woman in blue dress in front of them. It's despicable. If you 3 didn't join hands, you wouldn't be my opponent. The source chi in the body is still consuming rapidly. Seeing the fierce fighting skill that has come near, the long sword that is crystal clear like ice in the hand is waving rapidly. The source chi can take over the attack of the 3 people. At the same time, the graceful body is also retreating rapidly. At the same time, as soon as the wrist shakes, a strong source chi is injected into the long sword again, and the blade quivers. Immediately, they shot out countless fierce sword chi. While the 3 people's faces changed, the source gas in their bodies surged, which also resisted these sword chi. Immediately after that, the 3 people collided with the woman with a more rapid attitude. Smelly girl, I have to admit that your combat power is really incomparable with the 3 of us. If you fight alone, none of my brothers can be your opponent. It's a pity that you face the 3 of us, so you'd better admit your fate. Blocking the woman's sword chi, the 3 people's faces showed a ferocious smile and looked at each other at the same time. The fierce color in their eyes was more obvious. At the moment when the sneer came out, the more vigorous source chi gushed out of the 3 people's bodies. In the face of the fierce attack of the 3 men, the dignified look on the besieged woman's beautiful cheeks is even more ugly. After a long battle, she has stained a lot of sweat on her forehead and consumed most of the source gas in her body. Up to now, she has felt unable to follow her heart. If she continues like this for a long time, I'm afraid she won't even have a chance to escape. Bang! Just before the woman retreated rapidly, one of the 3 middle-aged men suddenly flashed from one side and punched fiercely. He saw that he was about to fall on the woman's soft and delicate body. At the critical moment, he was blocked by the woman's backhand. While shaking the man back, the woman couldn't help but make a stuffy hum, and a trace of blood immediately slipped down the corners of her lips. Damn it! The woman scolded and looked up, but she found that the other 2 had actually come in front of her, waving their fists and rushing hard at her from top to bottom. At such a close distance, she had no chance to avoid again, but if she forcibly blocked, she was afraid that she would immediately get seriously injured. At the same time, the woman was shocked. At the moment, She couldn't care much more. She quickly mobilized all the source chi in her body and gushed out unreservedly, hoping to resist the attack of the two people. I said, "You three big men are all strong men in Huiyuan. When you meet someone outside, you can't help but say a respectful word. But you didn't expect to join forces to deal with a woman. As a strong man, did you feed your dignity to the dog?" However, just when the two men's offensive came near the woman, a cold rebuke full of disdain suddenly came to their ears. Almost at the same time, a human shadow emerged in a ghostly moment between the two grey-robed people and the woman, with two palms turned over and one palm to meet one person. Bang! At the moment when the four palms touched each other, the powerful power poured out of the man's body, just like a volcanic eruption. It was Sheng Sheng who blew the two grey-robed people out in front of him. After a few breaths, he slowly pulled back his palm, turned his head and looked at the woman behind him. An elegant smile appeared on his handsome face and said, "Miss, we meet again." The person who spoke was naturally Luo Jin. Just now, before Xiao Yang had the idea of fighting, this guy couldn't help but rush out. Seeing that the woman was in danger, he fought a lot harder. Only then did he blow back the two opponents with similar accomplishments. Otherwise, if it was normal, I'm afraid Luo Jin wouldn't be so easy to shock them back. "It's you, so." Just as the woman looked up, another human shadow cut through the sky. Then, she shot the two people who were just about to rush again out. As for the other person, when she saw the black-robed youth and Luo Jin, she immediately felt extremely frightened and dared not say more, so she immediately chased the two people who were hit and flew. "Hey, the world is so big that I didn't expect to see you 3 times. I have to say, we really have fate. Yes, I can see you again, which shows that there is still a lot of fate between us." In Xiao Yang's mouth, not long after the words had just fallen, beside him, the little doctor came quickly. A pair of beautiful eyes stared at the woman opposite with a little different color, but the soft smile seemed to be mixed with a feeling of refusing people thousands of miles away. Seeing this, the woman immediately smiled, and a pair of beautiful eyes swept Xiao Yang's body. Her eyes twinkled slightly and said, "You are Xiao Yang. I can feel their breath in you," he said vaguely. Just when Xiao Yang was surprised that the other party actually knew his name, the woman had quickly dropped down and landed in the mountains and forests below. She broke the array that trapped the wind vulture, stood on the back of the wind vulture again, and wanted to leave. "How do you know my name? Who are you talking about?" Just as the woman was about to leave, Xiao Yang hurriedly caught up and stopped in front of the wind vulture, trying to understand what the woman said just now. "About me, I think we will meet again soon, and as for them, you should know better than anyone else." Hearing the speech, the woman in front of her smiled faintly. Her long and narrow eyes glanced at Xiao Yang, wiped the blood from the corners of her mouth, took a pill, then looked back at the blood flame bird staring at her in the air, smiled and ordered the wind vulture to set off. "This young lady, ha, I saved your life just now. It seems unreasonable for you to leave like this." As soon as the wind vulture was about to move, Luo Jin, who had some lost expression on his face not far away, rushed forward again, stopped in front of the wind vulture, directly came forward, and said with a simple smile in front of the woman in front of him, "Did I let you save me? Or did you see me in a mortal situation?" But Luo Jinggang wanted to retort, but he immediately saw the confident eyes of the woman in front of him. At this time, he swallowed it back. Then, the woman stamped her foot gently, and the wind vulture under her body flew forward slowly. Buzz! But just when the woman was ready to leave, Xiao Yang in front stopped it again. The powerful momentum in her body swept out, and filled the world in the blink of an eye. "Miss, I don't mean any harm. I just hope you can explain what you just said. What do you mean by them and who are you?" The strong breath forced the wind vulture beast not to drive forward. The voice of Xiao Yang's questioning echoed between the heaven and earth like a bell. But Rao was so. The beautiful woman in front of her was still calm as usual. "I know you're strong, but you want to stop me, but it's not that easy." "Oh, really, you just..." "Sure." Before Xiao Yang's sneering words fell, the pupils in his eyes suddenly contracted. In the void in front of him, the void that was originally empty condensed a thin, narrow ice spike in a twinkling of an eye. The sharp hair was almost close to the center of his eyebrows, even if there was still a few inches apart, but Xiao Yan could already feel the icy chill on it. Didn't your teacher teach you not to underestimate your opponent at any time? The cold and indifferent voice of words came into Xiao Yang's ears, and the ice thorn suspended in front of him dispersed slowly. This scene made Xiao Yang instantly think that the woman in front of him didn't use the power of the road from beginning to end in the previous battle. At this moment, Xiao Yansai seemed to think of something. This woman may have been suppressing her own strength from the beginning, not meeting her opponents in a state of prosperity, so as to try her best to squeeze her own strength and challenge the limit of her combat power. Although this will be accompanied by great danger, once she succeeds, the power increase brought to her by long-term experience is absolutely terrible. At the thought of this, Xiao Yang's heart couldn't help but be surprised. This woman's nature of mind is really different from ordinary people. What I have to say is that this time, Xiao Yang was confused by her opponent's appearance. If this woman really moved her heart just now, Xiao Yang at the moment may have been different. At the thought of this, Xiao Yang's heart was not afraid for a while. Immediately, he took back the released momentum and pressure. Xiao Yang took the initiative to make way for the man and beast in front of him. The latter was also impolite. The huge wings of the wind vulture beast shook slightly, and then carried the woman to the south slowly. Looking at the shadow that is gradually disappearing, Xiao Yang's heart is more and more suspicious. What exactly does the so-called they mean? And what does it mean that they will meet again soon? All this made him curious. Xiao Yang, remember, my name is Li Bingrui. We will meet again. At this time, on the far side of the sky, the woman's long cry suddenly came. Xiao Yang whispered twice and wrote down the name. Luo Jin stared at the direction Li Bingrui left. He couldn't bear to recall the strong posture of the latter just now, but forgot that Xiao Yang was the one who ate the flat. In the high altitude, the blood flame bird also stared at the direction Li Bingrui left, and recalled in horror the look in his eyes when the latter looked at him just now. The slightly familiar feeling made him think of something that had happened. It's her. She actually knows me. Recalling some dark times, the blood flame bird's heart could not help trembling. Everyone said that his character was cruel, but how could he know that he was beaten by a human little girl to escape from the family? The most shocking thing is that today he actually saw the girl again. Then, the group stood on the back of the blood flame bird again and continued to move towards the extreme south. Xiao Yang's heart was still thinking about what Li Bingrui said just now, but he still didn't think of a reason after all. On one side, the little doctor fairy silently stood by Xiao Yang and looked at Xiao Yang's struggling thinking. His mood was a little complicated. Even the blood flame bird was secretly worried about something. Fortunately, the next section of the road is much more stable. There are no accidents on the road, and there are no accidents. Perhaps it is because of the closer to the extreme south that people here are more reluctant to easily provoke those unknown forces, because no one knows what terrible existence you will face next. In such a wait, 3 days later, Xiao Yang and others finally came to the extreme south, a place called Hopeless City. Hopeless City, one of the largest cities in the extreme south. As long as you arrive here, you will be regarded as officially stepping into the field of the extreme south. The extreme south does not refer to a city or a mountain range, but a vast area jointly controlled by the 3 religions in the southern region. Compared with other places in the southern region, it is undoubtedly more prosperous. In the extreme south, there are almost all the strong people in the southern region, such as Fu Yulong and Na Liuya met by Xiao Yang and others on the southwest border. Although they are all strong people at the source level, if they are placed in the extreme south, their strength is only the middle and lower reaches at most. From this, we can see how much gold there is in the extreme south. The strong at the level of Yuanjing is just the existence of the middle and lower reaches. Above it is the strong in Yuanwang Daijing, even Yuanhuang. At the thought of this, Xiao Yang's heart suddenly tightened slightly. Now, with his cultivation of returning to the source territory, he has been able to move the heaven and earth. I don't know how terrible the power displayed by the strong man in the source kingdom will be. When Xiao Yang and his party came to the outside of Hopeless City, the blood flame bird left. Before leaving, Xiao Yang didn't mean to give this guy several 5-level pills in order to express his gratitude and apology. At first, the guy was also extremely dissatisfied with Xiao Yang's behavior, and even had some disdain in his words. But when he saw that the pills Xiao Yang took out were all level 5 pills, a burst of light burst out from the big guy's huge animal pupils, and took the pills in Xiao Yang's hand without any doubt, as if he was afraid of Xiao Yang's repentance. Warcraft can't refine pills. Most of the ways to get pills are to kill people and steal goods, except to buy them at a high price from human pharmacists. However, the quality and quantity of the pills will be greatly poor. Things like Xiao Yang's gift rarely happen. After receiving the pill, the blood flame bird's hostility to Xiao Yang and others also weakened a lot, but it still didn't put it down completely. After all, the blood flame bird is a proud ethnic group and can't be sent. This time, if it wasn't forced by Xiao Yang and Xiao Yang's destination is a far south place, he was afraid that he would not agree to lead the way. Xiao Yang, don't think it's over to take your pill. I wrote down the revenge and keep it for you for the time being. Just like the woman said, we will return it to you with interest the next time we meet. After a word, the blood flame bird turned and flapped a pair of huge wings, and then flew away towards a mountain forest in the southwest outside the city. By the way, although I don't know how you got involved with that woman, I still advise you that you'd better not be the enemy of her, because you can't provoke the people behind her. The words of blood flame bird came from the distance. Xiao Yang listened in his ears, but he couldn't help nodding. Although he didn't know the exact identity of Li Bingrue, she was definitely an extremely difficult opponent only from the terrible combat power displayed by the woman. In addition, from the words of blood flame bird, Xiao Yang can also hear that this guy seems to know the identity of the woman, but now that the person has gone, it is impossible to ask again. Come on, into town. Looking back, Xiao Yang looked up at the huge city like a wild beast in front of him, and his eyes gradually floated a look of sigh. The extreme south is finally here. Burn the burning valley and turn the earth into body milk. I'm coming. With a whisper in his heart, Xiao Yang immediately raised his feet and walked towards the hopeless city in front of him with a crowd behind him. As soon as the party entered the city, the scene in front of them immediately shocked everyone. The magnificent buildings stand in the city like mountains, and the vertical and horizontal streets are lined up in front of him. The flow of people is endless, and the noise rushes straight into the sky. In this short moment, Xiao Yang has noticed many strong breath in the city. The owners of those breath are all at the level of the source environment. It is worthy of being a place in the extreme south. The number of strong people in this city is not comparable to any city on the southwest border. In addition to those who are strong in the source environment, even among the pedestrians in front of them, the lowest cultivation is the 5-star fighting emperor, and even many strong people in the source environment run through them. It's really surprising that the strong person who was able to take charge of the Huiyuan territory when he was in the western regions is only an ordinary passerby here. While Xiao Yang and others looked at the surrounding environment, the emergence of this pedestrian also attracted the attention of many people in the city. After all, apart from Xiao Yixian and Mu Ling, all the others in this group have accomplishments above Hua Yuanjing, and even Xiao Yang, a strong man returning to Yuanjing, is in charge. The combat power of this group is already terrible, and the most surprising thing is that except Ju Tai and Tongqian Giant Ape, the rest of this group are young people with beautiful faces. It's hard for such a team not to attract the attention of the people in the city. Ignoring the eyes of the passers-by, the group walked slowly towards the city and counted the time. Now it's only a week since they left Qingyang City. It's much earlier than they originally expected. Now it's half a month away from the Zhongmen Derby of Burning Valley. It is more than enough for them to reach the location of Burning Valley from the hopeless city. Mr. Ju, I know 2 of the 3 sects in the southern region, but I don't know the other one. What force is it? Before, he only focused on cultivation. Now when he came to the hopeless city and saw the prosperous market, Xiao Yang thought that even if he turned to ask Ju Tai, the latter heard the speech and slowly breathed out, and the sidewalk. Among the 3 sects in the southern region, the strongest one belongs to the Burning Valley. The strength of the remaining 2 families dare not talk about it. They only know that the strength of their 2 families is different from each other. In addition to Tiangui sect, The third family is called One Scorpion Gate. 10,000 Scorpion Gate. He whispered, and then Ju Tai continued to speak. This scorpion sect is not an ordinary human force, but established by a powerful warcraft. In this extreme south, he is the only force with warcraft as its sect disciple. Warcraft Gate. Hearing this, Xiao Yang immediately raised his eyebrows. The power completely established by warcraft is still in the territory of mankind. This is really a miracle. Since it is the force of warcraft, can humans still let them exist safely in the far south? After a little hesitation, Xiao Yang couldn't help but express his doubts. There has always been a conflict between humans and warcraft. Few warcraft can survive in human cities. This is not caused by the environment, but the exclusion of human beings from the bones. For all warcraft, whenever human beings see it, they will definitely expel or kill it. As a vast area established by human beings, how can warcraft forces exist safely in the far south? Hearing this, the great ape behind him slightly raised his eyebrows, but he didn't say much. Naturally, he was very clear about the contradiction between humans and warcraft. Ha ha, exclusion is natural, but don't forget that the world still needs to speak with fists. As long as the strength is strong enough, it doesn't matter what row doesn't exclude. In front of absolute power, any resistance is meaningless, and any excuse struggle is just useless. Ju Tai smiled faintly. He already knew it in his heart, but Xiao Yang frowned and asked. In that case, didn't the Burning Valley and the Heavenly Puppet sect join hands? Together? As soon as Xiao Yang said this, Ju Tai immediately sneered and hurriedly said, "Boy, what you think is too simple. It is absolutely impossible for any of the three sides to lose easily. Unless one of them is powerful, it will force the other two to fight together. But among the three, Burning Valley is the most powerful. Naturally, Tian Puppet sect will not form an alliance with him. As for Tianguizhong and One Scorpion Gate, it is even more impossible for the two to join hands. Imagine that Tianguizhong and the Burning Valley for mankind do not believe it. How can they join hands with the Warcraft family? It is precisely because of this ingenious relationship between the three that they have successfully developed to the present level." Hearing Ju Tai's words, Xiao Yang suddenly realized that it's no wonder that the Burning Valley is dominant in the extreme south, while the other two have no action. It turns out that there is still this relationship between them. Otherwise, I'm afraid the pattern of the southern region would have changed long ago. Of course, you should not simply think that this is the whole of the southern region. Although the three sects in the southern region are powerful, the southern region is vast, including hidden dragons and crouching tigers. There must be some unborn strong people, maybe. Maybe the man behind Li Bingrui is such a strong man. When Ju Tai mentioned this, Xiao Yang immediately thought of Li Bingrui. No one is sure whether there are other strong people here. But now, Xiao Yang can be sure that behind Li Bingrui, there must be a strong person whose cultivation is at least above Yuan Wang's realm as a teacher. Otherwise, even if her cultivation talent is outstanding, it is impossible to reach the current situation alone. Who? With this in mind, Xiao Yang couldn't help breathing a long breath. He felt a surge of pressure in his heart. When he first came to the extreme south, he heard such news. He didn't know what a powerful existence he would encounter in the future. You don't have to worry too much. Even if Li Bingrui has the strong person of Yuan Huang as the support behind him, since he can teach such outstanding disciples, the strong person is definitely not a narrow-minded person. As for the three sects in the southern region, it has nothing to do with us. As long as we get the geocentric body milk, we will leave. Seeing such an expression on Xiao Yang's face, Ju Tai quickly comforted him. The little medical fairy on one side also nodded. Luo Jin patted Xiao Yang's shoulder and showed a firm smile. The latter saw it, so he nodded, raised his eyes and swaggered towards the city. After that, Xiao Yixian and others followed closely. While Xiao Yang and others entered the hopeless city, deep in the extreme south, within the jurisdiction of One Scorpion sect, there was a magnificent building with a slightly strange appearance. In the main hall, a middle-aged man lying on his side and resting suddenly opened his eyes. In a pair of purple eyes, in the depths of the pupils, a purple light flashed like lightning. For a moment, The breath in the middle-aged human body suddenly surged. In the extreme south, apart from those people, are there people who dare to kill our people? Damn it! Someone. The cold and indifferent voice of words echoed in the empty hall. Then, the door outside the hall was opened, and a figure flashed in. Lord. The figure half knelt in front of the hall and bowed his head respectfully. Go and send someone to kill this human. The purple orn in the middle-aged man's pupil flickered slightly. Then it turned into a light and turned into a face in the void in front of him. Looking at his appearance, it was Xiao Yan. Yes. Below, the figure looked up at the face and answered. Then, the body gradually twisted until it disappeared. Hopeless city. Xiao Yan and his party soon found a place to live in the city and went on their way for several days. Although they were not tired, they were in a strange territory after all. They should always stop and understand the situation here first. In Jutai's words, even if he came back here for the first time, it is also necessary to get familiar with the environment first. Luo Jin may have been here many years ago, but after all, it is too old to verify. After finding a place to live, the group wandered around the city. In addition to not provoking some strong people, these bright eyes didn't look less at the valuable things in other people's stores. The giant ape hasn't been out and about for many years, and it's hot to see everything. Xiao Yang and Luo Jin are not fuel-efficient lamps either. One is a 5th-order herbalist and the other is a 5th-order array mage. They are very obsessed with medicinal materials and special materials. After several explorations in the city, Luo Jin didn't see anything, but Xiao Yang saw a medicinal plant in a shop called Baikao Pavilion. Broken mirror flower. Seeing this herb, Xiao Yang's eyes suddenly gave off a burst of light. Broken mirror flower is the main material used to refine the 5th-level pill Broken Mirror Pill. Broken Mirror Pill can greatly improve the success rate for those with strong chemical source environment to break through the source environment. Generally speaking, those with strong chemical source environment who take Broken Mirror Pill will be able to break through the source environment at one stroke. Therefore, this Broken Mirror Pill is also a popular pill among those with strong chemical source environment. This time, Xiao Yang's plan is not only that. Although this Broken Mirror flower can ensure that the strong ones in the later stage of Huayuanjing can successfully break through to return to Yuanjing, its utility can also restore the original cultivation of Tongtian giant apes who have not fully recovered their cultivation. Moreover, if they are lucky, they may be able to make a breakthrough. Far south, Hopeless City, Herb Pavilion. Xiao Yang stared at the herb in the counter with hot eyes, and was pleasantly surprised. Broken Mirror flower, with this thing, he can use it to refine Broken Mirror Pill. As long as Luo Jin and others take it, the strength of his people can soar again. However, the number of Broken Mirror Pills that can be refined by this Broken Mirror flower is also extremely limited. With Xiao Yang's current refining technique alone, the success rate of refining Broken Mirror Pills is not very high. If it can succeed, I'm afraid it will be refined at most. Hehe, little brother, you seem to be very interested in this Broken Mirror flower. In the bustling hall, a middle-aged man with grey hair took a fancy to Xiao Yang from the crowd. That kind of urgent look is what they need in the store. The more people in need, the more revenue they can bring to their store. Hearing the voice, Xiao Yang looked back in doubt. At a glance, he saw the middle-aged man who came forward with a smile on his face. The 8-character skimmed beard and a pair of narrow triangular eyes, coupled with the mean lips, make people feel that this guy is not like a good man at the first sight, especially the obscene smile that matches his appearance. It makes people feel cold and shudder. If this guy hadn't mentioned the Broken Mirror flower as soon as he opened his mouth, I'm afraid he would have thought he came for Xiao Yang. The middle of the source environment. He raised his eyes slightly, and his sight swept up and down the middle-aged man. Xiao Yang whispered in his heart, and then asked, "Yes, sir? Oh, I'm making nonsense. It's the steward of the 100-grass pavilion. If you have any needs or questions, just ask me." The nonsense maker grinned, revealing a row of yellowish-brown teeth and hugged Xiao Yang slightly. "Steward who? I don't know if you still have this Broken Mirror flower in stock in your store." Hearing this, Xiao Yang immediately nodded gently. Although the man in front of him was very unpleasant, he was at least a steward. The broken mirror flower was also his family's thing. Naturally, he had to be polite. It's a coincidence. A few days ago, some broken mirror flowers just came in from my herb pavilion. If you need it, I'll ask someone to get it for you. Hearing Xiao Yang's words, Nonsense Zhao's eyes lit up and smiled back. Even if he wanted someone to get it, Xiao Yang hurriedly stopped him. Xiao Yang has been on the mainland for many years and knows a little about the way these guys do business. Once the broken mirror flowers are taken out, this guy will never give up until he sells a few plants, and the selling price is by no means a small amount. These guys can do everything in order to sell herbs. Although the middle-aged man's cultivation is not as good as Xiao Yang, since this guy is only in charge, it has been explained that there is a stronger force behind the 100 Herbs Pavilion. If there is no need, it's best not to cause any conflict with them. Hu Guan, don't worry in advance. I just ask casually. I just want to know what the value of this broken mirror flower is. With a smile, Xiao Yang stared at the nonsense in front of him and said something carelessly. Only then did he ask about the value of broken mirror flowers. Seeing Xiao Yang's calm appearance, he looked a little stunned. He originally wanted to take this to see Xiao Yang's attitude towards broken mirror flowers, but he didn't expect it to be so plain. Although there is no lack of possibility of decoration, at least he hasn't seen it yet. Oh, yes, there are rules in my herbal pavilion. All the medicinal materials sold need to be exchanged for medicinal materials with equal or higher value than the medicinal materials themselves. Of course, if the quality is poor, you can also make up for it with quantity. In this regard, there will be special pharmacists in my herbal pavilion to screen, and the same is true for pills. When the nonsense fell, Xiao Yang immediately frowned. The 100 Herbs Pavilion played a good hand. In this way, no matter what kind of goods the person who buys medicinal herbs or pills gets, the other party will get goods of the same value. In other words, isn't this the same reason as no trading? But where do they make profits? With this in mind, Xiao Yang's heart couldn't help but raise a curiosity. How can a shop without trading get benefits, and how can it be operated for a long time? This broken mirror flower has a history of nearly 2,000 years. Its medicine is extremely strong. If it is used to refine broken mirror pill, it should be able to refine 3 to 4 pieces. If you can invite a 5th-level herbalist to refine it successfully, the profits will soar in an instant. Nonsense Zhao is not a herbalist, but he has operated the 100 Herbs Pavilion for many years. He has a good understanding of the role and character of all the herbs. Although broken mirror flower can be used to refine many pills, as far as he knows, broken mirror pill is still in greatest demand. What's more, Xiao Yang is just a young man. Since he can find broken mirror flower, what he wants is broken mirror pill. Little brother, you know, broken mirror pill has a great chance to help a strong person in the source environment break through to the source environment. If you accept it, you can not only improve your cultivation, but also if the remaining broken mirror pill is put at the auction, it will definitely be a hot baby. At that time, it will be a lot of profit. Nonsense makes a speech, which is to raise the value of the broken mirror flower. If Xiao Yang speaks now, this guy will certainly raise the price of the broken mirror flower again. At that time, it will not be something that a medicinal material with the same value can solve. Broken mirror flower is indeed the most important ingredient used to refine broken mirror pill, but this nonsense still has some general meaning. Although broken mirror flower is not a prescription, since it is a pill, there is no reason to refine it only by one medicinal material. Once it is combined with other medicinal materials, its nature can be greatly changed. The value of broken mirror pill will also decrease. This nonsense is really made without his name. For his own interests, he simply ignores everything. It's just a main material, which can be blown into such magic by him. If it's anything else, wouldn't it have to be blown into heaven by him? In that case. After a long silence, Xiao Yang listened to the boast of nonsense silently until the eyes of the person in front of him stared at him for a long time. Before uttering the words in his mouth, Nonsense Zhao had held his breath and stared, waiting for Xiao Yang to nod. I want all the broken mirror flowers. However, while Xiao Yang was still hesitating whether to refuse, a young man in gorgeous brocade robes suddenly opened his mouth. A word of thunder broke the atmosphere between Xiao Yan and him like a bolt from the blue. This video will end here.